Hello, this is Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Welcome home. Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey, it's Amy from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey Clubbers, it's Scott from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, it's Kathleen from DVC Clubhouse.
Welcome aboard. It's Phil from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Debrief Podcast brought to you by DVC Clubhouse. It's Amy, joined as always by Phil, Scott, and Kathleen.
Hey, guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome aboard, guys. I thought she was going to get through it clean. I really did. And then she had that long
honestly,
pause.
It's really just, it always throws me off because of what Scott writes. And then I was noticing what he wrote and then the shirt that he's wearing. And it made me laugh because you wrote Donald and yeah.
I just realized what he wrote.
We'll just say it's Donald.
So for anybody who's listening, last night was the debate. Scott wrote his and Kathleen's names on the bottom of his little window on our Zoom call or whatever we want to call this, Donald and Kamala. But he's also wearing a Donald Duck shirt. So it just as I was introducing everyone, I noticed that and it made me laugh, but I didn't laugh. So that's why I paused.
I'm invoking the no politics rule, same as we have on the page.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about politics, but I'm just noting why I paused because of the Donald of it all.
Yeah, I just realized.
I get blamed every week. Run, spot, run.
For the record, it says Scott and Kathleen on my screen, so I don't know why Amy's using Scott as the scapegoat here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
You're
very much.
welcome.
See, are you gaslighting me?
Bro code.
All right. So moving on from that, today we're going to take a dive into this year's Epcot Food and Wine Festival. You know, in full disclosure, neither Phil nor I have been there yet. Kathleen and Scott have been. How many times have you been so far?
2?
Twice.
Yeah, 2.
Twice. Okay, so they've gone twice. So we're gonna talk about the menus, the things we're excited for. I have some things to say about food and wine, but why don't we just start with Kathleen and Scott? Just let us know, since you've actually been there this year, just what was your experience the 2 times that you went?
You want me to go?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as I'm looking through the little passport book, first I'll say, per the usual, I'm not a fan of the merch. It's just not. It's not my style. It never really is for the festivals. I do like the corksicle they have. I might buy that, but that's about it.
Shocker that we're bashing the merch. I know.
It's just too busy. It's too busy for me. But I'm looking at my menu that we have of the things that we've tried, and just off the top of my head, it's all the same from previous years. It's really anything new. Maybe a few things that we've had that's new, but for the most part, everything is the same.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the merchandise is like every other year. It's very loud. The Spirit jersey is purple. It's a Figment's, it's one of those things, again, where you're probably not going to wear it when you go back home. It's not going to be like an everyday thing that you put on, but I actually
not like your Donald Duck Spirit jersey that you're wearing right now.
It's not purple, but thank you very much. It's very, it's not even manly. I can't even say that, but I think the merchandise, I thought some of it was actually kind of good.
Like what?
I like the corksicle. I like some of the t-shirts, the pass holder t-shirts that we saw.
I'm just laughing at the disdain in Kathleen's voice. Like what?
Well, we even said that. I thought you even agreed with me.
No.
that you like some of the merch.
I like the corksicle and the glasses.
I
that
shouldn't
they
say
have.
we liked it. We kind of said it wasn't as offensive as it usually is. So I guess there's a difference between liking it and saying that we could possibly tolerate it. But yeah, I'll start with the merchandise and agree that 95% of it is just something that's very loud that a 5-year-old might wear. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
They
for
have
the
some
merch.
nice glasses that are out. I think it's like, is it a 2-pack or a 4-pack? It's a pass holder food and wine glass set.
I think they hit it out of the park with the corksicles and the glasses. But when they get to the shirts and spirit jerseys and different things like that, they're terrible.
I just like that we equated the taste of Instagram influencers along with 5-year-olds. I think that's very fitting.
It really is. It's something that if I had a 5-year-old child, I would possibly buy that for them, and even they might argue wearing that. But it's just purple and it's loud. It's Figment,
Well, I text Lily pictures while we were there asking her if she liked any of the merch. And she sent me a vomit emoji. So she's 17 and she didn't like any of it.
Yeah, I think they had a couple of bags that people might like. I think the Loungefly was terrible, but they had one of those. What are they called? Lugs.
Yeah.
It's like a lug Figment bag. I think people might kind of go for that. But all in all, we looked at it, but there was really nothing that I had to walk away with.
How about the food?
How about the food and the wine?
There's what we tried. I have it marked on my list.
Let's see. Well, I would say there is a new booth this year. Let me try to find the name of it. I believe it started with a B. Is it Bramblewood?
Bramblewood Bites, I think it's called.
Bramblewood Bites. I gotta really shout out to them because they did an old fashioned, which I love my old fashions. It's an apple spiced old fashioned, and it doesn't really have a description of it, but it was strong, but it was very flavorful. They also had a pork tenderloin. These are all new items. This is a new booth. A grilled cider brined pork tenderloin with fennel apple slaw and apple cider gastrique.
That was very good.
It was really good. And then, of course, my favorite thing that they actually had this year, cast iron roasted Brussels sprouts.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yes, and they had dried cranberries, candied pecans, and a maple bourbon glaze. Amy, you are drooling as I
Those were
describe
not
that.
very good.
Really?
Shocking.
Really?
Well, Kathleen doesn't like Brussels sprouts.
They were excellent.
I did see that on the menu, and that is something that I noted that I want to try. That's on my list.
Absolutely.
On my very short list, by the way.
Yes, I will agree that year after year, there's an app that we have that it's like a third party. What is this called? It's just called Food and Wine.
Food and Wine. We use the exact same one. Yeah, I was going to bring it up later in the episode.
But our list for that, you can actually put a like what you wish for, and it seems like it gets shorter and shorter every year that Food and Wine comes around. You want to talk about like what your favorite was? Oh, that was a she just brought this up. Spiced apple old fashioned inspired cocktail with Boyd and Blair rum. All I can say was that it was flavorful and it was very strong. But what was your favorite thing that you've had so far?
Was it strong enough to make the unmentionable parts of your body start sweating like other cocktails yourself and my wife have tried?
Well, funny that you said that because that is that is the first thing that happened. We actually had to go sit down because I was dripping with sweat from one Food and Wine drink. And these aren't like huge portions. It was one tiny drink, and I got halfway through it and I said to Kathleen, I said, "This is strong." And she looked at me and she thought maybe I was, something was wrong with me because I was literally dripping with sweat. So it definitely, yes, I was, it had the sweat effect for sure.
We're going to have to take one on an escalator ride to see if it really measures up.
Yeah, I think Emily would definitely like that. But I think from there, we went, the second time we went, I don't even think we walked out into World Showcase.
No.
We just stayed towards the front where the Communicore building is at.
I can't find that that pumpkin ravioli. Where was that at? I don't
That
remember.
was at the booth that used to be where the Honey Bistro was for the other.
I don't.
I forget the name of it.
Well, until I find that, I had the lemon poppy seed cake at Earth Eats, and it was very good. I will definitely get that again.
Forest and Field, for the record.
Oh,
We
Forest and Field.
we
Okay.
did go to the. We always go to the Brew Wing Lab, where they seem to have some different wings every year. I think they're pretty much the same as they were in previous years. Peanut butter and jelly sticky wings, buffalo wings, garlic parmesan. They do have an impossible buffalo chicken tenders. And then they have one that is called unnecessarily spicy yet extremely tasty Carolina Reaper pepper curry wings. That's a mouthful.
That's where the pickle milkshake is.
And that's where the most disgusting thing ever created is at, and that is the pickle milkshake. I don't even want to talk about that. It's gross.
That was on last year's list that he did get.
We tried it last year, and that was enough for me for the rest of my life. I don't need to try that again. I can't believe they brought it back.
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, you could have, if you want to get something like stupid, that's creative, that's, off the wall, do something different, like a broccoli milkshake or something like that. But, ugh,
If you really want to do something that's just completely disgusting that will turn off the majority of guests, you would do a cauliflower milkshake.
Ugh.
Or maybe a Brussels sprout milkshake. That's what we
Oh,
need, a Brussels
no.
sprout milkshake.
I would be all over that. If it's a roasted Brussels sprout, I can't even say it, Brussels sprout milkshake with a maple glaze in it, I would totally tear that up.
Ugh.
Put some whipped cream on that bad boy, and I would be good to go.
Yeah, if I took one sip, I wouldn't be all over it. It would be all over.
Right.
They also have a pickle flavored hard seltzer, I think, this year.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah, that's anybody that says they can just pick up a pickle jar and drink the juice.
I can.
Let's just not be friends now.
I can.
Well, he's married to you. You're not friends. There's a difference.
Well,
Mhm.
then Kathleen, you should the next time you go, you should try the pickle hard seltzer and report back.
I'll try that. I did get a hard cider when I was there. Which one was it?
Elderberry.
Oh, elderberry. That
And
was very good.
It's from a local place. We've actually visited the vineyard that's here. It's called Keel Farms, and it's located in Plant City. We have been to their vineyard.
Hmm.
We went one night where they had entertainment, but they're actually featured at a couple of different booths at Food and Wine this year with a lot of different hard ciders. But everything that they have is really good.
That drink stood out to me because I love elderflower. So that's definitely on my list. That's right up my alley.
What else did you have that you really liked?
I don't know. Do you think it would be easier if we just went through each booth?
Yeah, let's
so
just
I
go
don't
through.
like.
Let's go booth by booth, and then we can talk about. We'll kind of chime in if we had it, and we'll
Yeah.
just kind of give you guys a thumbs up or thumbs down based on what we thought.
All right. Well, I've got them in alphabetical order according to touring plans. So let's start at the Alps, which, no surprise here, as you mentioned, it's the exact same menu. I think there's very little variance here. A warm, is that raclette or raclette Swiss cheese with alpine ham, baby potatoes, cornichon, and baguette. Another warm raclette Swiss cheese with baby potatoes, cornichon, and baguette. A dark chocolate fondue with berries, pound cake, and meringue. And the beverages are a key lime hard radler and a frozen rosé. This is always the safe choice
A
for our kids because we
frosé,
just
if
call
you
it a
will.
ham. Okay. This is the
Thank you.
safe choice for our. Yes, thank you. Except they serve it in plastic cups, so you're out. We just call it a ham and cheese for the kids so they'll eat.
Right. We've had this before. We have not. I have it on my list again for this year because it's decent. I don't have to have it, but
Can we talk about the one thing that nobody ever mentions about this place? Why is it when you walk by that place, it literally smells like dirty feet and BO? Every
Because of the
si-
Swiss cheese.
That would be the
I,
Swiss.
I love Swiss cheese, and I've never had it smell like dirty feet. That place, I tell you, I have to walk very fast when I go by that place because it's just quite offensive to me.
Well, have you ever had Swiss cheese that's been sitting in the Florida sun for 3 weeks?
It's just very offensive to me. I'm not real sure how anybody could just be like, that smells good.
I do not care for this one. I really like there's something similar for the Festival of the Holidays. And I
Yes,
think that one is way better. This one,
it is.
and maybe it just has to do with, like, to your point, Phil, how hot it is. But the last thing I want to eat in like the hot Florida sun is some heavy, pungent cheese that's melted with bits of ham, and I don't know. It
And
just,
baby potatoes just to make you feel like you're a million pounds afterwards.
yeah, it just turns me off. So that this is a skip for me.
The
There's what you talk about, the hot Florida sun and what you don't want to eat. We'll get to it, but in Canada, Phil's favorite place, we eat the hot, what is it? The hot Canadian cheese soup. Who the hell wants to eat cheese soup when it's 154 degrees outside?
I will eat that.
I know. I see. We'll get to
See
that one.
that, because that's milder for me. Like, I don't think that that's as offensive as the raclette.
I'm with you though. The one during Festival of the Holidays is my favorite, and it's a lot
Is
better.
that the one with the little potatoes and the little vegetables?
No, that's this one.
Oh,
Well,
the one where you,
Oh, the
the one at
one.
the holidays comes
Yeah,
with potatoes too, but that one,
yeah,
isn't that one like a little like of a, I feel like that one comes in a bread bowl with
it
melted
does.
yeah.
cheese, and you dip
Hmm.
the potatoes in it, and yeah, that
It's also 40 degrees cooler.
Yes,
right.
I do want to try the key lime drink though that they have there.
What is that? A beer?
Yes. A radler is a type of malt beverage.
No.
That's really the only thing left on my list there because I don't have to have the cheese.
And nobody likes dark chocolate. Let's just put that out there now. When you get those little variety Hershey things, and the crackles, the good bars, and the milk chocolate and the dark chocolate, everybody throws the dark chocolate away.
I think that
Pass
might be
those
only you.
right on over to me. Yep. You don't eat that dark chocolate. I'm all about it. You can keep your stupid Brussels sprouts. All right. So
What's
we moving
next?
on to Australia. We going down under.
Yeah, that's all negative for me. You guys can have all that.
That's a negative.
All right. So Australia has grilled bushberry spiced shrimp skewer with sweet and sour vegetables and coconut chili sauce, roasted lamb chop with mint pesto and crushed salt and vinegar potato chips, lamington, which is a yellow cake with raspberry filling with chocolate and coconut, Yalumba Voinier, Bulletin Place Sauvignon Blanc, Fowles Wine Farm to table Shiraz, and a wine flight. Also served in a plastic cup, Amy. We're sorry.
It's all right. I can deal with these like little samplers. I'll get that wine flight because Australia has some good wines. So I'll get that wine flight, but I'm skipping the food at this booth.
See, I'm not. I'm actually excited about. There's two things. The top two, the bushberry spiced shrimp and the roasted lamb chop with the crushed salt and vinegar potato chips. I'm kind of excited for both of those. I think they're one of them is new. I think the lamb they've had before, but
The lamb chop is because we've had the spiced shrimp skewer before. The only caveat I would put on that is we've had it twice. Once the shrimp came out hot and it was excellent, and the other time it came out kind of lukewarm and just turned me off. But the shrimp is typically very good, and I'd be willing to try the lamb chop just because of the crushed salt and vinegar chips.
The
yeah, I think
lamb
they
chop
both
is,
sound good.
I don't know if the preparation is different, but there's always been a lamb chop. That's the thing that Steffi from the DVC Clubhouse Facebook group is like obsessed with.
Yeah, I've had the cake before. I think I've had that the last couple of years, and it's average. The lamington.
Yeah, I'm not a dessert person, so I don't really ever get the desserts from these booths.
All right, moving on. Belgium, beer braised beef, smoked Gouda, and mashed potatoes. And they have a Belgian waffle with warm chocolate ganache and a berry compote and whipped cream. Belgian chilled coffee, non alcoholic. I'd try that. A Brouwergy St. Bernardus Dragon Vit. Brouwergy, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. Sweet and tart cherry ale. Another
A
ale I'm not
variety
going to
of beers
pronounce. Beer
that are
flight.
available individually or by the flight.
Yeah, I don't need, there's so many vowels in that. I don't even know where to start.
I would
Yeah.
probably
So
just.
the
Oh. I think I
Somebody,
would.
anybody.
For me, it's just the chilled coffee.
No waffles?
No.
I have had the beer
Yeah.
braised beef there before, and it's fine. But again, it's like this is not something that I'm interested in eating in a 95-degree day and having it sit like a brick in my
Oh
stomach.
yeah, with smoked Gouda mashed potatoes. That sounds great in January, but not in August, September.
I would get the beer flight from this booth because there are 2 new beers that they haven't had there before, so I would give those a try, and that's a pretty good brewery.
Can you pronounce it?
Breweries brewery.
Browers.
She totally made that up. And here's the thing, none of us can correct her because we don't have a clue.
I mean, it's definitely like I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's definitely brewery. Like, that's what that word means.
She pronounced okay, so it's brewery. We're gonna Americanize this.
Right, that's right.
The one that says sweet and tart cherry ale, I would try that. That's the one that I would really like somebody to try to pronounce that whole thing. But that one actually sounds really good to me. A cherry ale.
Yeah,
That might be good.
that sounds good.
All right, Block and Hans, straight beverages, frozen pineapple chipotle lemonade, and a spirited frozen pineapple chipotle lemonade. One alcoholic, one
Next,
non-alcoholic.
I'm out.
$15, no thanks.
No.
Yeah, I'm out.
So you got to be like me. I don't drink alcohol, so $5.29 for a frozen pineapple chipotle lemonade sounds pretty good. I'm in for that. All right, Bramblewood Bites. Have we already gone over this to our satisfaction? Grilled cider brine pork tenderloin, grilled bison, and this nasty roasted Brussels sprout thing.
So far, it's the booth of the festival so far for me. It's definitely going to be a repeat for me.
Yeah, I'll definitely try the Brussels sprouts, and I probably won't try anything else. I mean, that Pinot Noir, $16 for like a tiny pour. I think Goji, I think that is one of the Disney-owned wineries. I don't need to try that. So no thanks. $16. Bye-bye.
All right, Brazil has a feijoada, which is a pork belly with nut pesto. Oh, and they've got Ben's original long grain white rice because we know
Feijoada.
that. Okay, I didn't know that Uncle Ben's was actually a
It
Brazilian
is. It's
company, though.
feijoada. That's a j.
No, there's a y there. And a pão de queijo, Brazilian cheese bread. I'm always down for cheese bread.
That's pretty decent. I've had that before. That's about it.
No beer, frozen
What is
caipirinha.
that? Caipirinha.
I've
with,
had that before.
with a kahaka. Yeah, I'm good on that one.
All right, you guys already talked about the Brewing Lab, buffalo wings, PB&J, garlic parmesan, impossible buffalo chicken tenders, impossible to love, your Carolina Reaper pepper curry wings, and fried pickle spears. And
The pickles were good.
The pickle spears were very good.
until they ground them up into a milkshake.
Yes,
Yeah,
and the
that's good.
elderberry hard cider. I'll definitely get that again.
All right, no Hefeweizens, nothing like that for you guys.
I do want to try the lemon one that they have over in Germany.
What is it?
We didn't get that one yet.
I haven't gotten to Germany yet.
No.
Canada, here's your cheddar cheese and bacon soup and your half an ounce of filet mignon.
So
Gross.
Lily loves that filet from Canada. It's like her absolute favorite. It is good. I don't get it all the time, but she has to have it when she's here if it's going on. Did you like the soup? You've had it before, right?
I've had it once. I think it was the first time I ever went to Food and Wine,
Oh,
and I was done with it after that because it was 100 degrees outside.
Right. And I think that's one of those things that was so good when you went to sit down at Le Cellier and they brought it out to the booth and people just flocked to it because it's got a reputation. But who wants to be wandering around? I guess besides Amy. Amy said she was in for the cheddar cheese and bacon soup.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Apparently not.
Oh yes, no, I am.
I heard crickets. That's all
That's
I
what
heard.
I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't see anything there it's always the same stuff. They always have the cheddar cheese soup, they have the filet, and then they maybe change up the drinks, but that's it.
Mhm.
Canada. Oh no, sorry, that's wrong, wrong tune.
All right. China, pan fried chicken dumplings, crispy duck bao bun, and Shanghai scallion noodles, mango peach bubble tea, another one I can't pronounce, some sort of punch, fiery dream orange mango cocktail, and a Brew Hub Lychee Food Draft Beer.
I mean, honestly, all of these cocktails are always a skip for me. I'm not spending like between 14 and $20 to get a mediocre small cocktail that has like a minuscule amount of alcohol in it. So, other than maybe like a margarita, but even those, like I'd rather go inside to La Cava and get a margarita than spend the amount of money that they are charging at these booths for cocktails. It's just it's a ripoff.
These are all reruns. I mean, it's pan fried chicken dumplings and crispy duck bao buns, and I don't know. I think the drinks are new, but all the food items are just.
The thing that I'm willing to do is to try the different beers because you can get them for $5. You can get a beer flight for like $7 and feel like you have tasted, you're getting like little samplers of things versus committing $15 an entire cocktail. Like to me, the spirit of food and wine is sampling small plates, smaller size drinks so that you can sample a lot and not break the bank and not get too full. If I'm going to spend $100 in a day, I don't want to spend, like $15 of my 100 on a cocktail.
Yep. And if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'm going to go to a sit down, get a meal I actually enjoy over one meal versus a bunch of tepid food I've got to wait in a line for more money. It always sounds like a great idea in thought and theory. And then in practice, we get about halfway through our list and give up. It's like, let's just go get a real meal.
I mean, you could get 2 orders of wings at the Brew Wing for the price of a tiny cocktail. Did you guys see the Moon Festival?
I just saw that.
They change up the item for the booth for China. They have a new item coming on September 8th through the 21st called the Snowy Mooncake. It's a butterfly pea flower infused snow skin mooncake with creamy custard filling for $8.25.
You just read me that description, and I have no idea what that will taste like or look like.
I was gonna say I have to see it before I try it.
It sounds interesting, but I don't know what
It sounds
butterfly
interesting.
pea flower. I don't know what snow skin is.
I might try that.
Yeah, it's
We'll see what it looks like.
interesting.
It's like only colder.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll be sucking that down.
Put a marker on that one for edit later. All right. So, I mean, the general consensus here is that we're all bored with the menu. So let's just burn through these as fast as we can.
Well, I mean, I just want to interject something real quick because we're going through these menus and I was going through these in preparation to do this episode. And as I was going through, I was noticing some omissions from past years that I was disappointed about. And then as I was looking at the list, what really struck me is how this festival has gone from an opportunity to feature foods from more countries and more regions of the world to just come up with like these booths that have catchy names and just I like they just feel like arbitrary booths with arbitrary items. And so I looked back at so I counted up the booths and there's 32 booths. 8 of them are countries that are not countries or like regions that are not currently represented in World Showcase. 9 of them are booths that are existing countries. So they are, like Japan, Mexico, China. So we're Italy, which we should just remove from the Food and Wine Festival completely. So that's a total of 17. So that means that 15 of the booths are these like random kind of like made up like coastal eats or bramblewood bites or these like arbitrary names that are kind of like somewhat descriptive but somewhat not. And when I looked back, I was like, let me look back at 5 years to 2019 pre-COVID. And it had all of the countries that are represented at this year's festival, but it also had Africa, Ireland, the Caribbean islands, and Thailand. And Africa and Ireland were the 2 that I noticed, like, that were noticeably missing from the list for me because I really liked items from both of those countries. Now they do have there's the festival favorites booth has the Irish alcoholic milkshake that they have. Um, so then I looked back at 2014 because I was like, well, let me look at 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they had all of the countries that are represented this year, plus Africa, Ireland, New Zealand, Patagonia, Poland, Puerto Rico, Scotland, Singapore, and South Korea. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 additional countries represented that is giving you the opportunity to taste cuisine from those other countries. And then I looked back at the 2004, and this is where I really it really dawned on me, when we were talking about doing this episode, and I took a look at the menus, and then I watched a YouTube video to look at what what the foods looked like and whatnot, and I was like, this is just I feel uninspired by Food and Wine Festival. And it used to be my favorite. It used to be years and years ago, it would be the reason why I would go to Disney World in the fall, would be to go to this festival. And and then I was thinking, well, why am I not that enthusiastic about it? Is it because there's a festival all the time? Is it because they've introduced new festivals that I like better? And when I looked at 2004, I realized why it used to be my favorite, because even in reading the description of the event was all about um, prestigious wine schools, elegant grand tastings and dinners, celebrity lunches, vertical tastings, food and wine pairings. You could take a wine class on Bordeaux wine, on Italian wines, on Australian wines. They had dinners with that were hosted by breweries where they would pair their beers with different meals. All over Disney World property, they were also having events. There was a 5-course meal that you could do at Citricos at that time. It was just a much bigger, more involved. They had a the Lunch and Learn, so celebrity lunches, great beers of the world seminars, a junior chef academy so that kids could enroll and learn how to cook something. It was just so interactive, and there was so much more to do than just walk around and sample food. And when you did, you were sampling foods from other countries and regions of the world. And so I looked at that list from 2004, and that was the first year that they introduced the India booth. They had New England Fair. That was the first year of Spain. They had Australia, Canada, fresh from Florida, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Morocco and Mediterranean, New Zealand, Peru, and then a special chocolate one, Poland, Russia and Eastern Europe, Scandinavia, South Africa, Southeast Asia, and then they had a specialty beer garden. And when I read those descriptions, I'm just like, gosh, it was so much more of an involved event, offering so many more interactive elements and allowing you to sample cuisine from around the world. Now I just feel like I'm walking around and eating French fries and wings and weird food that they have decided to arbitrarily make a booth out of. And I just don't really need to eat all of that. Part of why I loved Food and Wine Festival was because it was there was a synergy with Food and Wine Festival and World Showcase. It was bringing World Showcase to an even more elevated level, because it was giving you opportunity to sample more flavors, more cultures, and then also really have these immersive educational experiences that were going to make, and some of them were additional money, but it really was it felt like a big deal. Now it's just here's a booth with some braised short ribs over mashed potatoes, and here's some fried French fries that have a couple of seasonings sprinkled on them, and it's just, I don't know, it's just it feels uninspiring. And I think the reason why going through the menu just feels kind of lackluster to me is because I just feel overall that the festival has lost its purpose, and it's all about kind of what we were talking about with merch. I just feel like just another thing, like what's going to be most Instagrammable, what is going to be the, the festival booth that people are going to visit most, there's just the things that are going to be buzzworthy versus things that are really going to be enriching the guest experience at Disney World. And I feel like that makes me really sad because I loved this festival so much. And right now it's nothing more than just a bunch of random booths that don't really have any sort of significance to the overall like meaning of Epcot. So that's it. And off my soapbox, off of my soapbox.
I would agree with that. I think it's food and wine has come a long way over the years, and maybe not in the direction that we want it to. But yeah, I would agree with that, except for the fact that now we have macatizers.
Mac and cheese makes everything better. Not for me.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not. That was a joke. Mac and cheese is like that. That's actually an example of like what's wrong with it because it's like it's just mac and cheese, and you're gonna just same thing with the French fries. It's like this is supposed to be a culinary experience, and you have a booth about mac and cheese, a booth about wings, a booth about French fries, but then you're gonna like have a flavors from America booth. Like
I was just going to bring that up.
I couldn't wait to bring that one up. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, let's just sum up this entire thing in the disappointment that is food and wine by looking at Flavors of America. And I think this just encapsulates the whole thing. We have a New York style all beef hot dog, a Chicago style all beef hot dog, a Carolina style all beef hot dog, a Southwest style all beef hot dog, and a chocolate pudding cake. That's what America has to offer right there.
well, and when you look at the rest of the festival, like I said, so we have a booth about hot dogs, a booth about mac and cheese, a booth about wings, a booth about French fries. Like we are basically making booths out of kids menus and just making them fancy, you know, versus like having these like great culinary experiences that we used to have. And it's just it's so uninspiring to me. I would much rather go to Festival of the Arts or Flower and Garden, where at least they are inventive with the presentation of the food. So you're getting something in a can or something looks like a flower. Here it's like plopping meat and potatoes on a plate and here you go and go on your way and enjoy your hot dog with chili on it in the
It's not
100
Yes.
even
degree
meat and
heat.
potatoes. It's like a plate full of disappointment. And that's what it is.
Yeah, this festival was definitely last on my list of all the festivals.
Now, with that said, it can be done right. It was done right in the past. It was a fan favorite for years. I mean, it really kicked off the whole festival trajectory that we're on now because it was so popular, because it was so amazing. And this year, we are taking a trip down there to hang with Scott and Kathleen during Food and Wine. We have zero interest in going over to Food and Wine. We are instead going over to Swan and Dolphin for the Food and Wine Classic to get actual, really good, small plated food because they have taken what Food and Wine was and kept true to the tradition of it. And we're excited for that. And we could care less about Food and Wine through World Showcase.
Yeah, I was thinking about it today and I have a couple of trips planned over the, short trips over the course of Food and Wine. And I really don't care if I get over there. I don't care because there's nothing compelling enough at the Food and Wine Festival to make me go over there.
Except for the one
Eh,
dishonorable mention I need to bring up, which is the Italian style nachos, which has been panned by everybody who has tried it, which is homemade beef ragu, pasta chips, tomato sauce, and dried ragout. I am all set.
Sounds amazing.
no, we're usually ready to go, to Epcot on the weekends and whatnot, but we're not in a hurry. Like I think the time that we have been there the past couple weeks is because the festival's finally open. It's been closed, there's been no festival for months. So we're like, oh, let's go, But now that we've been twice, I don't we don't have to go back.
There's a couple things on there that
But
I want to try, but yeah, it's just this is
it's not exciting.
somebody said it was their least favorite festival.
It's my least
I
favorite.
think I would agree with that. I think that out of all the festivals, I think this ranks last for me.
Completely. I
No, I think it's
completely agree with
unanimous.
that. It is. And, I think that, again, with like the advent of social media, the experience almost becomes the watching the videos about the event and then going and trying the things that these like non-food critic influencers are liking or not liking. And honestly, the only reason why I even watched the video that I watched was because I wanted to, for this specifically for this conversation. But I've also gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't need to have somebody walk me through what is available to me and telling me what's good and what's not good. I like let me just go and experience it for myself and let me decide and let me have my first experience with this festival be through my own eyes and not through the eyes of some 28-year-old who probably has vastly different tastes than I do. And I just want to go in and enjoy it because I just again, I just feel like the social media of it all makes it so that we're trying to check off a list of things that are trendy versus actually just immersing ourselves in an experience and walking around and picking the things that sound good to us. And I don't know. It's like that's another soapbox moment for me. But
Yeah, I mean, I think really what it comes down to is it's very telling that they have shortened this festival. It was getting longer and longer and longer, and suddenly it's being shortened. I think they can see the writing on the wall. They just have no desire to fix it.
well, it used to be when in 2004 it it didn't start until I think after Labor Day or maybe the last week of August. It was a shorter festival, and it was the only festival. It went basically from the beginning of September to the end of November. And then over time, because it was so popular, they started to extend it and have it start earlier. And then after, post COVID, and because of all of these construction walls over Epcot, there was literally nothing to do in Epcot other than be at a festival. So I don't know. I think that they need to assess this festival and bring it back to its former glory.
All right, well, I think that pretty much encapsulates all our thoughts. We're going to wrap it up.
Oh, hold on.
What do you got?
I would just like to shout out to India.
Yeah, we can't forget this.
Yeah, there's a drink, an alcoholic drink at India that only comes around at Food and Wine. I don't think they have India at the other festivals.
They do. For Flower and Garden, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
But they do a drink there. It's called, I want to say it correctly. It's the mango lassi.
We've heard it. I love when you say that.
But it's one of the most
You're
amazing.
saying it with a Scottish accent.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It doesn't matter. It's what comes out of me. It's the mango lassi. But they have a chai cream liqueur. And if you do go to Food and Wine, it's got to be my recommendation for everybody just to try that drink. It's a very, very small pour, but damn, it's a good one. It's
It
delicious.
is delicious.
Yes.
I love that one too.
We'll end that on a positive note.
We're going to try something new. I guess we're going on a positive note this episode. All right, guys. Well, we had planned on making this go longer, but none of us really had the heart to be particularly positive about Food and Wine. So I guess that really is our take on it. Our weekly group therapy session is coming to an end. So thank you for playing along with us as always. I can't even ask for a 5-star review on this one, Amy.
If you have thoughts about the Food and Wine Festival and would like to share them with us, please head over to our Facebook group, DVC Clubhouse, and follow us there. You can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and until next time, we'll DVC you real soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
And so our journey comes to an end.
Oh, no, please, can't we go back to page 1 and do it all over again?
Started this thing together, and that's how we'll finish it.
Because that, my friends, is where the magic lives.
Top of the hour.